Alright guys, hello there, this is Alan recording another comprehensive Magic the Gathering Arena draft video. Let's fire off some more Coreset 2021, shall we? And got to note that this set has a lot of combat tricks, so you gotta watch out for Feeder Resistance and Ranger's Guile that the opponent will be keeping up constantly. So expensive removal gets a little bit worse in this set than typical, and also is a very aggressive format. So let's see. Pack 1, pick 1, Coreset 2021. What do we open? Not a big fan of the Spore Web Weaver. However, we do have two directions we can head to. We can pick the Face Fetter and draft a nice white aggressive deck, or we can have fun and take the Tutelage here as a powerful alternate win condition. Looking at the commons, I think Grasp of Darkness stands out as the best common, and I would take it over all the other commons in this pack. I would even take Grasp of Darkness over Spore Web Weaver, to be honest. Haven't been too amazed by this rare unless you can put lots of +1/+1 counters onto it. However, I think white is a better color than black, and I would favor the Face Fetter over Grasp of Darkness. Now the question is, do we want to commit to a middle deck or a aggressive white deck? And I've been pretty impressed by the Teferi's Tutelage deck. There is a lot of card draw in this set, and if we pick this up pack 1, pick 1, we can prioritize cards like Frantic Inventory, which tend to get passed around in these packs, and this can be totally busted if we have a lot of card draw. So yeah, I don't mind the Teferi's Tutelage. We can set up a nice blue control deck, blue-red, blue-black, even blue-green, I guess. But yeah, we'll take the Teferi's Tutelage. Otherwise, Face Fetter would be my secondary option. Okay, after Teferi's Tutelage, did we get punished? Pretty much. Nothing amazing. I think the best card is the Bazri's Acolyte. So unfortunately, we could have had a Face Fetters with the Bazri's Acolyte, but I guess we didn't get rewarded. But this is just pick 2 of the pack 1, so we could still get rewarded here. So now we could have an option to be in a white aggressive deck or a blue controlling deck. Nothing else stands out here. I guess there's a Spine Megalodon if you want to be in blue-black, but we'll take a Bazri's Acolyte as the best common. Watcher Spheres is excellent. Guess we're going to set up a nice white-blue Fliers deck. In that case, I don't know how good Teferi's Tutelage is in the white-blue Fliers deck. Probably not good, but I guess maybe there might be a chance we might use this as an alternate win condition. I don't know. Yeah, so we'll take the Watcher of the Spheres, just the best card in this pack overall. Very powerful, uncommon. It's a good reason to be in the blue-white Flyers archetype, and we already have Bazri's Acolytes. Otherwise, there's a Read the Tides that goes well with the Teferi's Tutelage, but I'll take the Watcher here. Alright, so this is a huge signal that the white-blue Flyers deck is definitely open. Bazri's Acolyte was passed to us, same with the Watcher Spheres. So now it makes me confident that I want to take be white-blue, and the question is, which one do we want to take out of this pack? Rousing Reed is very good. Daybreak Charger is also very good in the Flyers deck. But, I mean, if I want to stay flexible, I could just take the Rousing Reed, since it plays well to Tutelage. And I guess if we do play Rousing Reed in the white-blue Flyers deck, Tutelage can also be playable, I guess. Otherwise, like, Daybreak Charger is pretty nice. I think I like Daybreak Charger over Keen Glidemaster. Keen Glidemaster can be fine in the white-blue Flyers deck, though, by giving cards like Bazri's Acolytes flying or any future flying creatures. But Rousing Reed does the same. It also helps us draw. We'll take a Rousing Reed here. Okay. Could just take an Alpine Watchdog as a mediocre 2-drop that we can use. There's also Wishcoin Crab, but it's a pretty bad 4-drop. Could also just take a Sky Scanner, to be honest. It's a flying creature. It helps us draw, cantrip. It could also, again, make the Teferi's Tutelage reasonable in the white-blue Flyers deck. I don't hate it, and we can maybe pick up another okay 2-drop later. We'll take a Sky Scanner. Do we take it now? I think we do. I don't think we're playing Read the Tides in the white-blue Flyers deck. Plays better in red-blue spells or black-blue, where you can ramp it out with the Vildalian Arcanist on 2. There's also late Deathbloom Thallid, but I think I'm still fine taking the Alpine Watchdog, given that Watcher Spheres and Bazri's Acolyte will just pass to us. Plus, Rousing Reed is also good in the white-blue Flyers aggressive deck, so we'll take a Watchdog as a filler 2-drop we could use. Could take a Dub. That's a late Chandra's Magmut, but I don't think we're moving into red. Dub isn't all that great either way. I mean, I could just take a Read the Tides. in case we still end up in the blue control deck. I don't think we're moving to red, white at this point. Watcher of Spheres was a clear signal we want to be in blue-white Flyers. I think Arita Tides, it's fine enough. Could take a dub, could take a Wishcoin Crab. I think in blue-white Flyers we should have enough like 4-drops that we don't need a bad card like Wishcoin Crab. But although Wishcoin Crab could work out if we end up in blue control, but I think the dub can be fine here. Put in the sideboard. Keen Glide Master pretty late, okay. I think I like it over Library Larcenist. Library Larcenist can be fine if you can give it a rousing read. Maybe give it like a combat trick like Sure Strike to get across. And it can definitely run off of a game, but I don't really value it that highly unless you have the correct deck for it. And yeah, white-blue is the correct deck for this card, but I still don't value it that highly. I think the Keen Glide Master is more important in these white-blue aggressive Flyers decks. This is an excellent mana sink in the late game, and just a good 2-drop that can be aggressive early on. Don't mind me Concordium Pegasus as another good flyer in this deck. Alright, so this deck is coming along nicely. Kind of read the signals that blue-white Flyers is open. Still don't know if I'm going to play the Teferi's Tutelage, since our game plan might just be to out-aggro the opponent. Even the late Wishcoin Crab, so signal that blue is open. White, maybe not so much. So I guess there might be a chance we could still abandon white, but we'll see. Alright, in this pack we have Spark Hunter's Mastercore, but a Roaming Ghostlight is perfect for this deck. Great in the blue control deck, great in the blue-white Flyers archetype. Spark Hunter's Mastercore is also pretty good. Like, I've been quite impressed by it, since usually ditching a land isn't that bad, and then keeping up the 3 colorless, 3 generic late game to give this indestructible is quite annoying. But I think it's a Roaming Ghostlight, just has a lot more synergy with our game plan. If Roaming Ghostlight wasn't in this pack, it would be pretty interesting between Swift Response and Spark Hunter Mastercore, but Roaming Ghostlight just has perfect synergy in these blue-white Flyers decks, and also, again, if we do end up in the blue control deck and then I'm abandoning white, I'll still take the Roaming Ghostlight. In the pack 1 pick 1 scenario, out of all the commons, I think I'd still rate Grasp of Darkness higher than Roaming Ghostlight, but Roaming Ghostlight is close, so we'll take it. Ooh, what's this? Shipwreck Dowser, but there's another Bazri's Acolyte here. So I guess we're mostly going to be in blue-white Flyers, so the Bazri's Acolyte makes sense. Shipwreck Dowser would make more sense if we pick up more instances and sorceries, or if we were in blue-black control or red-blue spells. So it doesn't really make sense for our deck. The only thing it can get back is a Read the Tides. Bazri's Acolyte is just perfect, and another excellent 4-drop for aggressive game plan. And now I know we're going to be settling in ourselves in blue-white Flyers, so we can kind of ignore the blue-red spells aspect or whatnot. And even the Thralling Hold at 5. What is this? Okay, I wouldn't mind an Anointed Chorister at 1 as well as an excellent 1-drop in the aggressive white decks. Opt would also be fine, but Enthralling Hold is really good. Just a way to more interaction, more ways to steal the opponent's threats. Now I have an interesting decision. Do I want to take the Library Larcenist or the Reign of Revelation? Reign is very good, but I don't know if this is the deck for it. We tend to be more aggressive. Don't think we need Valorous Steed, that's replaceable. Library Larcenist can be okay. Reign could actually make Teferi's Tutelage feasible, however, and maybe it's a fine late game engine that we might need. It's not great in the early game, I suppose. I mean, I could just take the Library Larcenist. Maybe that's just better, since we are looking for a more of aggressive game plan. Yeah, I'll take the Library Larcenist. I think it's fine enough as a 3-drop. I think in the vacuum, Reign of Revelation is just better, but I think we need the Library Larcenist since we're kind of being this aggressive attacking deck, and it's pretty nice with the Bazri's Acolytes, and we're just looking to curve out and punish the opponent for missing out on their land drops. Wouldn't mind a Frost Breath or Lofty Denial in these types of Flyers decks, but I think the Anointed Chorister is just a very good 1-drop, so we'll take it. And another Enthralling Hold, perfect. Okay, we're definitely covered in the late game, so now we just need to make sure we get enough 4-drops. maybe some makeshift battalions on 3, some more 2-drops, obviously, but this deck is coming along quite nicely. Could take in their Sky Scanner, why not? Don't think we're frantic inventorying. Yeah, let's take the Sky Scanner. Could even ditch the Toolage, to be honest. Another Library Larcenist, but I think it's a rousing read here. It's way better than the Library Larcenist. And it's nice if you can play lots of 2-drops and give them flying. Also helps you loot and discard and whatnot. And I might even play Toolage now, given that I have double Rousing Read and Sky Scanner in the same deck. So we do have a bit of card filtering going on. Take another Library Larcenist, why not? Could end up playing 2 or 3, I don't know. We'll see. Might not even play him, I don't know. Like, the body's just very lackluster, that's the only issue. And it's pretty difficult to get it across sometimes, since it doesn't really have a nice, good stat line. I highly doubt we're going to play the Protege in this deck. I mean, this is a fine card to play because I guess it also disincentivizes the opponent from attacking, since they want to keep it up to block the Library Larcenist. Otherwise, we can just leverage our card advantage and steal the game. We'll see. Overall, the deck is still coming along nicely. We just need to work on the 2-drop department, maybe a bit at 4, and this deck should be really nice for us. No respect for the Wishcoin crap. So it seems like a blue control deck is open, but we're more like a blue-white tempo deck. Okay, another third enthralling hold. Probably not. I think we have to take the Daybreak Charger over it just for curve purposes, and it does play very well in the blue-white Fliers deck. I would definitely take the enthralling hold pack 1, pick 1 in this pack, but just due to curve purposes, we are desperately needing a 2-drop. Too many 5s in the aggressive blue deck is not something we need, and it can get kind of weird if the opponent doesn't have a tapped creature for us to steal. So 2 is enough. We'll take a Daybreak Charger. At the end of the day, it's about the deck, not about the power level of the single cards. There's a Swift Response versus Selfless Savior. Selfless Savior is pretty good, especially if it can be a nice 1-drop that can protect our creatures. Swift Response is also fine, a pretty decent card. I don't mind the white-blue Flyers deck, since they might be trying to race us. So I could also consider it here, but I do like to have a couple of 1-drops in these white aggressive decks, and the Selfless Savior can be quite nice. Reign of Revelation, more for like a blue controlling deck, but I would definitely take a Swift Response here. There's also Celestial Enforcer I could consider, but the Selfless Savior is too good, I think. Another Daybreak Charger versus Swift Response. I think I had to take the Swift Response now. We are lacking interaction, only double Enthralling Hold. I could use 1 copy, and it could be quite nice in this deck that's looking to fly across. But Daybreak Charger would also be pretty excellent, same with a dual land. It's a pretty rough decision, but I think we have to take the utility spell here. And another Azorius Acolyte, perfect. I think I like it over the Capture Sphere in this deck. Yeah, definitely getting rewarded with blue-white Flyers, definitely the open color. Could use another good 4-drop here to enhance our threats. Now, I could just take a Makeshift Battalion. I could ditch a Larcenist. I just don't like Larcenist that much due to the fact that his stat line is really poor. And I think Makeshift Battalion is enough better than the Concording Pegasus that we take it. Yeah, let's ditch a Library Larcenist, put in a Makeshift Battalion. I just like the stat line better. And it seems like we're going to be aggressive, so I don't know if we're going to be a Toolage deck, since a Siege Striker seems to make more sense in this type of deck. So I could... when it comes to drafting, it's important to maximize the efficiency of your archetype. So therefore, our archetype is looking to be very aggressive, very creature-heavy. We don't want cards like Teferi's Toolage and Library Larcenist. Teferi's Toolage, which is very controlling, and the Library Larcenist is just not a great stat line. The Siege Striker is just perfect with what we're going for. We're looking for like a go-wide Flyers game plan. So I think we can ditch the Toolage and the Library Larcenist. Could play a Valor Steed at 5, who knows. Well, no respect to the Larcenist. I guess I'll take one in case we don't have enough playables. Oh, Celestial Enforcer, pretty perfect for this deck, especially if you're playing lots of Flyers. Even Daybreak Charger. Okay, guess we can cut the Library Larcenist now. There was also a dual land I could consider, but Daybreak Charger has been a very powerful, impressive overperformer in this set. So I guess this is good. Even a late Keen Glide Master. Okay, I guess that's an upgrade over the Alpine Watchdog. No dub. So my question is this a 15 land deck or is this a 17 land deck? We do need mana. We do have Keen Glidemaster as a decent mana sink in the late game. Same with Anointed Chorister. Rousing Reed can maybe help us ditch a land if we flood out. I think I like the Rambunctious Mutt over the Valor Steed. We're not really looking to go wide. So this deck looks pretty perfect, and if it's already good enough, maybe we don't want to risk going to 16 lands here, since we want to ensure that we kind of curve out with all of our threats. So slightly favoring white, so 9-8 seems perfect. Yeah, this deck looks really good. I do like the Rambunctious Mutt over the Valorous Steed at 5, since it has a higher potential upside of destroying an annoying imposing artifact or enchantment, like maybe a Tutelage that we need to deal with. And Thralling Hold is just very strong. Although I don't want a lot of 5-drops, it is pretty decent. If the opponent tries to race us, we can just steal the creature back. Roman Ghostlight is just excellent. Basri's great, especially if you're looking to play lots of creatures in the 2 and 3 drop department. The Sky Scanner has nice synergy of our flying theme with the Watcher of the Spheres and the Celestial Enforcer. Also draws us a card that's nice. Rousing Reed fits our theme. We're playing lots of creatures, like 18, so we do have a lot to enchant. Sea Striker is excellent, just a very scary threat that can pump itself and get in huge hits if it goes unanswered. Makeshift Battalion, just a fine body, can gain a counter. I think, again, I like it over the Library Larcenist. Library Larcenist, again, is a fine card, I think, but it's just the stat line is bad. And unlike Coreset 2020, where the Audacious Thief, the 3-mana 2/2 that when it attacks you lose a life and draw a card, unlike that card, not only did it lack this Library Larcenist lack the extra power, but in M20 you had Blade Brand that could play well with the Audacious Thief if it managed to come across a large blocker that's in the way, and you also had Phantom Fleet Cutthroats as 4-drops to follow up after the Audacious Thief attacks. Unfortunately, in this set, the only thing the Library Larcenist plays well in is a deck that can maybe allow to fly over. I guess we do have double Keen Glidemaster and Rousing Reed, but I don't want to rely on having put a Rousing Reed onto a Library Larcenist here. I think we just want to be very aggressive. We're not really trying to leverage card advantage that highly. That we want to have good creatures like Makeshift Battalion with powerful stat lines that can hit pretty hard, which might force the opponent to block. Definitely not a cancel deck. Again, Valorous Steed just worse than Rambunctious Mutt. Plays better with the Basri's Acolyte, I suppose, but the Rambunctious Mutt has a lot more upside. And with all these 5-drops, I think we stay with 17 lands. Same with the Basri's Acolyte, all these 3-drops. We have some mana sinks with the Celestial Enforcer. Rousing Reed can discard a land or so. Keen Glidemaster needs to get something across. And the Anointed Courser might need to pump itself late in the game. So yeah, I don't mind this deck. Seems pretty solid here. Nice flying theme. How many flyers do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6, 7. Yeah, I think it's pretty solid. We were planning to draft the blue control deck, but the Basri's Acolyte being passed to us, pick 2 and then pick 3 Watchers Spheres definitely signaled that blue-white Fliers was open from our right. So it was good to capitalize on that when we saw it, and again, they don't fit in the same deck with Teferi's Tutelage, since we're looking to really develop the board and win the game through aggression. So yeah, this seems fun. And our picture, Watcher Spheres, of course, and let's get to it. Alright, we do have Keen Glidemaster 2, Celestial Enforcer on 3. Seems okay. We're on a draw. We do need double white for the Basri's Acolyte, and I wish I have a 1-drop, but can I really risk it? Once we get to turn 5, we can steal something. I think this is worth keeping. Not an impressive hand, but it's okay. We also have a bunch of 1-drops and 2-drops we can draw into, so it's not the end of the world, and we're running 17 lands, so... So red, green, power 4 matters. No Drowsing Tyrannodon, please. Could have Magma Tyrant and could be keeping up a removal spell. Alright, let's get our King Glidemaster shocked. But nope, it resolves. Okay, that resolved quite quickly, so it might be a signal he doesn't have a removal spell. So now we can play out the Celestial Enforcer here. I could also play out the Sky Scanner to dig a little bit deeper. He's definitely going to attack back for 3 next turn. The Celestial Enforcer is a better creature to put a counter on if we get a white mana open. And we have enough flying creatures that can hit pretty hard that we probably might not need a Sky Scanner. Although Sky Scanner makes it more likely we draw white. So I don't plan on double blocking this either with the Celestial Enforcer, so we'll just play the Sky Scanner for now. Get out of the way. And now we did pick up our double planes. Now the question is, do we want to Azorius Acolytes on both of these creatures? The King Glidemaster would trade for the 3/3, I suppose, but do we really care about that? Guess that's a good creature. I don't mind stealing next turn. Let's block. Azorius Acolyte doesn't seem too good here, I think. I think I'll keep my Sky Scanner back to block the 2/1, but the Azorius Acolyte giving counters to these two doesn't make a whole lot of sense since this 2/1 is just going to trade for this 2/1, so we'll just play out the Celestial Enforcer. We'll hide the second planes here, and then we'll stay back because I want this 1/1 to block this 2/1, and then maybe we can steal this Truffle Snout if he goes all in with it. I guess he can sack it now, so that's an issue. Yeah, this sucks. It's like, if I try to Enthralling Hold, he'll sack it, turn into a 3/1. I could just force him to sack it, though. Probably not blocking, since it's pretty bad for me to do so. Radha? Radha might be a better target, but, this is quite interesting. Radha might be a better target. If he pumps itself, it's going to hit me pretty hard, but I don't mind him pumping itself. So if I play, what do I play out here? I could play out my Daybreak Charger and keep up the Celestial Enforcer to tap the Truffle Snout down. I guess I can tap the Radha down and steal it next turn, but it depends if he taps out. If I Enthralling Hold here, but the thing is he can just cast cards from the top of his library. He could sack it to the Hobble Fiend by keeping up a mana, so maybe stealing it right now is correct. We can take a hit from Radha, and then we can just, I don't know, keep tapping it down. Yeah, we'll try that. I do want to steal Radha, but again, he could just sack in response, and that can be an issue, so I guess we'll just keep staying back, take 3 from Radha, and then next turn we can start tapping it down with the Celestial Enforcer. He doesn't need the sixth land to get the Radha going. So now what? Guess I don't mind blocking here and here. Although I do need my Flyer, but this definitely implies something here. I could just block like this, I think, and take 5, and then the Celestial Enforcer, we can keep up the tap something down, because this definitely implies a combat trick if he's attacking the 2/1 into the 2/3. So let's block like this. I think we're fine. So hopefully no Colossal Dreadmaw here. Wildwood Scourge, okay, that's a pretty large creature. Maybe I don't mind trading that off. So I think we just play out the planes. I guess I don't mind the Acolyte onto the Truffle Snout and the Sky Scanner, and then we can keep up 2 mana to essentially just tap down Radha or some other, or this Wildwood Scourge. Fine attacking in for 2 here in the air, gotta pressure him. And then the 2/3 can block the 2/1, the 2/2 can block the 4/4. Depends on whether or not he plays a land again. If he does, I'm definitely tapping out the 3/3 pre-combat. And If he does have Titanic Growth and I double block, this will be a disaster. Prime Malkin. Okay, so the Wildwood Scourge is definitely going to grow. So I guess I'm forced to tap it down pre-combat. I mean, I could trade for it, but I do want to maybe deal with Rada. This is quite bad. So Rada does have First Strike, so if this gets pumped with the Titanic Growth, I guess the Truffle Snout will die. But if I offer to trade the 5/5, it can be okay, I guess. This is pretty difficult. Guess I don't mind offering the 5/5 to trade. I guess Titanic Growth onto the Wildwood Scourge will also be pretty bad since it can kill both my creatures. So yeah, we'll just tap the Wildwood Scourge down and maybe we can double block the 4/4 here. Since it does have Trample, if he does use Titanic Growth, it could be an issue. Opponent just passes, so he probably doesn't have a pump trick. I feel bad missing out on the Face Fetter first pack, but the Tutelage was definitely quite nice. Ooh, Roaming Ghostlight, that's not bad. I guess the Roaming Ghostlight can bounce the Rada for a turn, or the Wildwood Scourge. I guess he can cast this as a 5/5 later. But if I bounce the Rada, she's not going to have a counter, and I can just keep tapping down the 6/6. So I think we'll just do this. Bounce the Rada, force him to recast it, and then we'll keep up the Celestial Enforcer. And I do want the 5/5 back to stay behind on defense. And maybe we can try to win through the skies here. Guess I'm forced to tap Rada down pre-combat now since he can just pump it up to a huge number. Hopefully, we're definitely in a back foot here due to the fact that we're relying on this Celestial Enforcer to play defense for us until we find like a removal spell off the top. Alright, we'll allow him to draw, but that has Summoning Sickness, so I really don't mind. And then all these can stay back on defense. Rousing Read, okay, that's actually not bad too. I could Rousing Read on the Basri's Acolyte and get in a nice attack for lifelink, although I will be shields down. This is hard. Huh. I guess I can still tap down Rada and take a hit. So maybe this is fine. Okay, and we can ditch the Sky Scanner, I suppose. Or the Watcher. Sky Scanner can draw us deeper, I think. I do want to use a Daybreak Charger to get in a nice lifelink hit in. So I guess we ditch the Watcher. And I guess, do we attack with the 3/2? I think we do. And then we can definitely take a hit from the 6/6 and tap down Rada on his turn. Definitely going to tap down Rada. We can take 6 from the Wildwood Scourge and block everything off instead. Here. Again, I'm keeping the Sky Scanner since it can draw me a card next turn, and that might be more important than catching the Watcher, playing the Watcher Spheres, although it's a better card than Sky Scanner. I think this is correct. Battle Rouse Shaman, okay. I guess the Rada won't be able to pump herself. So, and I guess it also has trample, so it might be important to actually tap down the 6/6 here. Since she can't pay for the 6 mana for the ability, and then we can like chump. We can block here and block here, I think. Alright, so what happens here? Block here. Block here. What happens? We're going to be taking 8 damage. So if he has a pump spell, by 3 damage we're dead. We could take the safe route, I guess, by blocking like this. Taking 1 trample. And then taking 6 damage instead. So if we block like this, he's gonna trample over 1. Then we're gonna take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 instead. But if we block like this instead, we're gonna be taking a lot more damage. So I think we just want to prevent damage here. I don't think I value the boar anymore. So I think we block like this to prevent the most damage. I guess I don't mind just blocking the Truffle Snout here too. Sure. And then we can win the skies with these creatures. Alright, he doesn't have anything that deals with flying, so yep, good game. Let's see what we would have drawn. Okay, yeah, that game definitely took a lot of thinking. Opponent definitely had a very scary red-green deck, of course, but our Flyers managed to get there, made some intelligent tapping decisions to buy ourselves some time, got a nice lifelink hit with the Azorius Acolyte, so yeah, overall, pretty fun game. Let's keep this up. Alright, Selfless Savior on 1. That's not bad. We're on the play. We'll keep. And then we have double white for the Azorius Acolyte as well, so we're in decent shape. Guess we don't mind attacking the Selfless Savior. Next turn we can deploy the Sky Scanner. Do I trade here? I guess I don't mind trading. Now the question is, which one do I play? I mean, if he does trade for this, I actually don't mind. So then it's a good... Then I can play out the Makeshift Battalion. If he takes it, then I can play out the Sky Scanner. I don't really care about keeping indestructible with this, so we'll just attack and see if he trades. Alright, trade happens, so I guess Makeshift Battalion makes sense here. Demir, okay. Don't think I'm playing the Azorius Acolyte. Let's just try to get an attack in. And then I'm gonna... Okay, Mass Blackguard's gonna trade. Okay, so... I guess we'll play the Sky Scanner, and then we'll keep up white in case we top deck the Anointed Chorister. Can Rousing Read maybe the Azorius Acolyte eventually. Definitely Thawed, okay. Daybreak Charger? Might just play a Daybreak Charger first, although it doesn't really... It's not really a good creature to put a counter on with the Azorius Acolyte, but maybe it's better just to play the Azorius Acolyte here for 1 counter, since I can if I top deck a land, I can Rousing Read onto the Azorius Acolyte and use Daybreak Charger to get in a huge lifelink hit. Let's just attack in for 2. Okay, opponent's also flying. I'm hoping he attacks, because if he does, if I top deck a land, I can steal this, and that can be pretty nice. But the opponent's just going to play defense. Now what? I guess I don't mind another Acolyte here, and I'm fine attacking the Sky Scanner and forcing a trade. Definitely not attacking with the Azorius Acolyte on the ground. And then 5th land will give me access to Rambunctious Mutt. Ooh, that's a nice card. Okay. Guess the opponent's going to attack in the air now. We can now Rousing Reed or steal it. If we get a land, do I want a Swift Response here? Guess it's more mana efficient, so what we can do is, guess a Rousing Reed isn't bad, but what do I discard? Yeah, let's just get rid of it now before it causes any more issues. And then we can take 5, and then now we can Daybreak Charger and get in for 5 with the Sky Scanner. Hopefully it doesn't put the Rousing Reed onto the Spine Megalodon, otherwise we're going to be in trouble. Since this is hexproof and we can't steal it. Although the Rambunctious Mud can target the card, so I don't mind if he attacks here. Ooh. So now I guess I don't mind Rousing Reading here. Which one do I want to fly over with? I could just replay the Sky Scanner to maybe hit my land drop. But getting a nice lifelink hidden here is nice, so maybe I should need to tap better here. Which one do I put it on? I think this Acolyte is fine. It has pretty nice toughness levels. And what do I ditch? I think I need my 5th land drop. Sky Scanner is not going to do much, I think. It does draw me into a card. I do maybe want the Celestial Enforcer. Maybe Siege Striker is not necessary since I can't fly it over. So we'll ditch that, and then we'll get in for nice lifelink hits. Chomping, okay. Not bad. Might have an answer to this, like a Finishing Blow. And then we need to rely on other Flyers to get across the finish line. Ghostly Pilfer, I guess I don't care about that. How much mana does he have open? I guess he doesn't have enough for Finishing Blow, so I don't know how he's going to deal with this. So I guess now we'll just play out the Sky Scanner first. And then we can play out the Celestial Enforcer to tap future Flyers away. I could have played around Lofty Denial. Okay, never mind. Just a Rain of Revelation. Then we can get him for 4 in the air and gain a lot of life, so... And eventually we can go for an all-out attack, I think, and still get there, but... Opponent's definitely back behind here. The counters on the Sky Scanner really mattered, turning into a threat that the opponent had to bounce back. Probably has a Finishing Blow here. And I'm going to save the Rambunctious Mutt again against the Spine Megalodon if he decides to put a Rousing Reed onto it. And I can still target the question is, do I tap anything here? I don't think so. I don't think there's anything at instant speed that can deal with my Flyers, so I think I'll just attack with the Flyers here. I could have, maybe tapped down the Ghostly Pilfer and go for an all-out attack, but that seems pretty bad. So if he kills the Azorius Acolyte, I guess we're on a 5-turn clock in the air, but that's still fine. Guess he might have instant speed to destroy the Rousing Reed. I have no idea. And if that's the case, ooh. All right then. So I guess it's dead, but at least I can equip the Rousing Reed into a future creature. But I guess he'll just gobble it up here. So, all right, that's fine. In that case, do I still play out the Rambunctious Mud? Probably not. I guess I don't mind playing out the Rousing Reed right now. And then where do I put it? I guess I place it on the Daybreak Charger for lethal. Next turn. Since this is a better blocker, I guess against the 2/1, but I guess we have a creature to block anyways. Let's put the Rousing Reed onto the Azorius Acolyte. It has a little bit more toughness in the Daybreak Charger, and that might be more relevant. So now we can ditch an island, play out the Watcher of Spheres, and then we can say go. Pestle and Haze will be pretty bad here, but we got him. Alright. Sweet, this white-blue Flyers deck definitely overperforming. 17 lands, still pretty good in this deck. Alright, turn 2 King Glidemaster. Doesn't seem amazing. I mean, we do have turn 5 Enthralling Hold. Do I mulligan this? We're on the draw. I think we can do better. Not amazing, but we have Sky Scanners at 3. We'll keep... Guess I can ditch a land here since I'm on the draw. And then hopefully we can get a third land draw for the Sky Scanner and we should be okay. If we do miss on a land drop, this will be a disaster. And we got lucky. Alright, we'll attack him for 1. So, red-green with the Tome, that's kind of scary, especially if this can gain him life. So, might need to just fly over and try to steal some games through the air, since opponent's going to have lots of large ground creatures like this Truffle Snout. Might swift response this Truffle Snout next turn, we'll see. Rambunctious Mutt can be pretty nice to deal with this Tome, but we'll be taking 3 here. Could take 3 again next turn, or I can deploy the Sky Scanner, really depends. I mean, I could just play the Sky Scanner, like maybe he might have a scary creature for me to destroy with the Swift Response. Opponent's going pretty deep, he's splashing Jund. Okay. Yeah, we can do better, let's just Sky Scanner. We don't need to Swift Response right now. Could be holding up a shock. But we are just drawing nothing but lands, so might have to actually Rousing Read one of our Flyers next turn just to dig deeper. I don't know. Doesn't seem like we're in good shape. Twin Blade Assassins, that's a good Swift Response target. Hopefully it doesn't have Ranger's Guile up. But I'm definitely going to try to Swift Response that next turn. Or I could just use the Bazri's Acolyte this turn, take some hits. Yeah, seems like it. I'm fine taking 8 here next turn. And then the Selfless Savior can protect the Bazri's Acolyte with a Rousing Read on it. Since I do want to kind of leverage the life gain in the air. So we'll attack in for 4, I think. Take 8. Maybe use Swift Response next turn. Get a nice lifelink hit with the Bazri's Acolyte. And a Selfless Saber can protect the Bazri's Acolytes if we want to give it flying, so we'll take the hits here. It's no big deal. Another Twin Blade Assassins, what's going on? Okay. Daybreak Charger, that's pretty nice. But I think we have to Swift Response or at least Chump. Could have Ranger's Guile. Okay, nope. So now we can Rousing Read onto the... I could offer to trade the Bazri's Acolyte, in fact. That actually might be better. Let's do that instead. Yeah, let's do that instead. Let's offer to trade so we can get a nice lifelink hit in. And I guess he's just going to take it here because if he blocks, I can just give this indestructible. Pretty good trade. Okay, that's pretty nice. Alright, now I can give the Azorius Acolyte flying. But the lifelink hit was definitely quite crucial there. So one off the top, what's he doing? Could be a Massacre Worm, I don't know. Massacre Worm will be quite bad, but at least we can Rousing Read onto the Azorius Acolyte and fly over, I think. And get a nice lifelink hit in. Fierce Empath, okay. So hopefully no Scorching Dragonfire. I do want to resolve this Rousing Read onto this Azorius Acolyte and try to win through the skies. Definitely going to keep the 3-1 back, since if I attack, he's going to use the Fierce Empath to block it. But losing both his Twin Blade Assassins was quite nice for me. Alright, so I could just play Keen Glide Master, but that doesn't seem fun. Let's Rousing Read here. And I ditch the land, play out the Keen Glide Master. Alright, Twin's down to 2. I highly doubt he can win this unless he sweeps our board. Like, Massacre Worm will probably kill us, but he still needs Triple Swamp. Next turn, I can just Azorius Acolyte into both our Sky Scanners in case he has a Pestilent Haze. Because that's the only way I can see himself winning this. Like, maybe he has a Pestilent Haze. He probably has a Hunter's Mark here. Hunter's Edge, my bad. Okay. So I guess now a Azorius Acolyte into both of these Sky Scanner means it's lethal unless he has a removal spell. I'll gladly take 4. Hopefully he taps out here. If he does, then the Acolyte should just seal the deal. Alright, so it's a good game here. Yeah, I don't think he had a chance. Let's just Azorius Acolyte into the Sky Scanners here. Yeah, Azorius Acolyte, definitely a powerful common. I think this card should have been uncommon. I don't know why it's in common. That's the reason why I rank white the best color, due to the fact that it's cards like Azorius Acolyte are extremely good in this set. Alright, currently 3-0. Let's keep going. Alright, that last game we lost because, yeah, we just couldn't find our white source. As you can tell, I think the hand we kept was quite reasonable regardless. So it was just, unfortunately, we were unlucky that game. We just need our second white source, or at least our fifth land, so we can steal one of his creatures, I guess. But yeah, as you can tell, Magic is a game sometimes decided by chance. Um, Alright, seems reasonable. We don't have any turn 2 plays, but we do have turn 3s. Would be great if I can top deck like a 2-drop at least, but I think it's okay. We'll try it. I'm on the play, so I can't really go down a land, and this seems okay to keep. Obviously, it would be better if we can get a 2-drop right now, but RNG this is not in our favor, so guess I'll leave a Siege Striker first, since the next creature I'm playing, I'm looking to really tap down and attack in for a lot. So, could play out the Makeshift Battalion first. On the Siege Striker, if we put a counter onto it with the Azorius Acolyte, we can tap down the Acolyte and get him for 3, and that can be quite nice. Or I can play out the Makeshift Battalion and be even more greedy. That's actually not a bad idea. Like, just having better creatures to load these counters onto can be a thing. But I guess I could also use a second Acolyte to put a counter on my first Acolyte. Toolage. Okay, so opponent's in the mill plan. So gotta race him, gotta be very aggressive. So I guess we're gonna try the Azorius Acolyte next turn, just to get in as much damage as possible. Alright, so he's in a blue-black mill plan. I guess, never mind, Daybreak Charger seems good. But if we get a land next turn, we can curve out quite nicely. So I think we just play out the Acolyte here just for mana efficiency. We'll tap the Siege Striker, get in a nice attack. And this is 6, which is a lot. We do need to race him, because he has this Toolage thing up. We can't afford to stay back on defense. And there goes our Rambunctious Mutt and our Roaming Ghostlight, so... Land would also be good. Again, we can Daybreak Charger into Makeshift Battalion, maybe force him to chump. So definitely gonna expect a counter spell here. Let's leave the Makeshift Battalion. Actually, doesn't really matter. Let's lead with the Daybreak Charger, maybe pump the Azorius Acolytes, I think. Alright, knew it, cancel. Sure. So I guess we'll just attack with the Siege Striker and then tap both our creatures down. Hopefully he doesn't steal our Siege Striker with his own Enthralling Hold. That would be quite bad. Could have it here, that would suck. Roaming Ghostlight, okay. Just gonna buy himself some time. Seems fine. Ooh, now what? I could put a counter onto this Makeshift Battalion and offer a trade, but it's just gonna get blocked off by this 3-2, so I think we just keep playing out the Siege Striker here. Next turn we can play out Azorius Acolyte. I could offer the trade, nah, never mind. Just no attacks. So next turn, maybe we Azorius Acolyte on the Siege Striker and Makeshift Battalion get in for an attack. I don't see a reason for putting a counter onto the Azorius Acolyte since it can't even attack past the Dryad anyways. Opponent could be running out of steam here. Tyrannodon, okay. Right, this is interesting. So, I think the right choice is to play out the Azorius Acolyte here. Put +1/+1 counters on the Makeshift Battalion and Siege Striker. Siege Striker is going to be pretty large. I can make him into a pretty large threat. I guess I can make this into a 4-powered First Striker. And then I can trade off with a Makeshift Battalion and then tap both of these life linkers down. I think that's the right choice. So we're going to do this. Don't think putting an extra counter on Makeshift Battalion is going to make a difference since you can just double block. It could be bad if you can pump the Dryad, but at least I guess that's a trade I'm willing to take. If he decides to block off the Siege Striker. Okay, he probably has like a spell here. That's why he's putting the 4-powered creature in front of the 4/3. Okay, I don't know which one matters first. Do I care about killing the Flyer more or the Drowsing Tyrannodon? I guess it's Tyrannodon because if he can actually attack the Flyer and we can enthralling hold on onto it, so I think killing the Tyrannodon is more important. This could be an issue if he finds a way to kill us. I guess the double strike will still kill the Drowsing Tyrannodon, so it's not that bad. And this still trades for the 4/3, so we're in good shape. The next Azorius Acolyte can start enhancing our other Azorius Acolytes, and we can get in a nice attack. And he's forced to do maybe some weird double blocks. Rousing Reed, okay. I guess we can still block, we can still attack past it. So we're still in good shape. Opponent's definitely not going to attack here. Let's just get in there with the Azorius Acolytes. Force a trade, get in there for 3. Opponent can still mill us, it depends on how many card draw spells he has. But overall, I think we're doing fine for now. Capture Sphere, okay. Guess we're trading here, and then we can start clocking him in the air, perhaps. Alright, guess we're going to try to win the air. We'll attack him with the 2/3, force a trade. And then I guess we have him on a 2-turn clock now with the Concordian Pegasus. He could still win this. I mean, he could definitely win this, but we'll just have to get lucky here that he doesn't draw a card draw spell and mill us. But definitely a very close game. Alright, just no card draw here. Oh man, did we get this? Or is he trolling us? I think he's just trolling us. I can also enthralling hold my own Azorius Acolyte, but we're not going to do anything stupid here. Let's just attack. Oh wow, yeah, very close games. Now you can see the power of Teferi's Toolage. Definitely puts you into a racing situation once it comes down the battlefield. Just lucky that the opponent didn't top deck any card draw for the last card. Otherwise, I think we would have lost. Currently 4-1. Let's keep this train rolling. I think this is a reasonable 7-win deck from the looks of it. Two drops, 3 drops, 4 drops seems good. We are on the draw. I think we have to keep this hand. I prefer to be on play, obviously, but it is what it is. Red-black sacrifice, okay. Not going to block this since he can pump and kill it for free. So opponent gets a free roll here, unfortunately. Right, alright, he just pumps it. I guess he has nothing to play this turn, so that actually makes me quite happy. I guess he's just going to crash through. Okay, so now we can play out the Makeshift Battalion, get in there for 1. Next turn we can load up counters onto it. Fine taking the hit from the Igneous Curse, since I do want 2 creatures to get a counter instead of 1. Crypt Lurker. Alright, I could just load up counters and just not attack with the makeshift battalion. Could just offer to trade. Like, let's say if I put a counter onto this, regardless, he can just double block, so I think we go for it here. The trade seems reasonable. And then we also have the second Azorius Acolyte to put a counter onto our other one, and then the Concording Pegasus. So I think we're still in decent shape by offering this trade. Havoc Jester, okay. Guess we'll just play out the Acolyte still. Don't think Rambunctious Mutt is going to do much. Just keep pressuring him in the air, and then this can also enhance our life linkers, and we can eventually just give a Rousing Read to the Fliers, and then connect for a huge lifelink hit. I guess I don't mind putting the 2/3 in front of the 1/2, forcing him to pump and spend mana for the turn, so I think I'll do that. Opponent could have a removal spell here, that's why he is just passing the turn. I guess we'll just move the attacks first, there's no need to Rousing Read, I think. He's probably going to kill the lifelinker. Alright, he's just going to take it. Alright, I guess I don't mind just playing out the Rambunctious Mutt. Keeping land in hand for the Rousing Read. There's nothing for me to kill, but at this point I highly doubt he has a Scythe or anything. And the only red-black artifact I'm looking to kill is the Scythe. So, we'll put out an extra body. Grasp of Darkness would be pretty bad here, so... Keen Glidemaster is pretty good. I could just play all my 2-drops, perhaps. Yeah, we'll just play out the Keen Glidemaster here in Celestial Enforcer, I think. And then we'll attack him for 3 in the air. He needs a finishing blow to deal with the Concording Pegasus, but he could Grasp of Darkness one of my 4 toughness creatures if I try to put a Rousing Read onto it. So that can definitely punish me. Okay, that's what he had. Okay, sure. Keep land in hand and discard with the Rousing Read. Next turn, I don't mind just Rousing Reading the Azorius Acolyte and maybe getting in there, and using maybe the Celestial Enforcer to tap down the Havoc Jester. Arcfire Immolator, okay. That can't really destroy anything unless he casts a spell and activates. So let's say he has Grasp of Darkness here. I think he would have used it earlier already, but let's just say he does. If he has Grasp of Darkness, he will kill my Acolyte. This gets pumped. Or I guess he's trying something else here. I guess, oh, the Havoc Jester does extra damage, so that's fine. And then now I don't mind a Rousing Read onto the Azorius Acolyte to hopefully finish the game. Or I just play out the Keen Glidemaster and give it flying. Yeah, we'll try that. Alright, Keen Glidemaster, good late game card. Managed to get there, so, this deck is definitely doing very good. Happy that I read the signals that White Blue Flyers was open to our right, and we're maximizing the power level of this archetype. The deck doesn't have anything really busted, just really good cards like the Acolyte, Enthralling Hold, Rousing Reads. Let's see, what's our only bomb? I don't think we have any bombs. Like, these are all good cards, not bombs. Same with the Azorius Acolyte. Same with the Siege Striker, same with the Watcher. Yeah, 0 bombs, just good interaction, a good curve, 17 lands, and a nice aggressive game plan. Selfless Savior and the Daybreak Charger, just near our third land. I think we keep. We're on the play. And we have both our colors open, so another reasonable keep. Being on the play in this deck definitely makes a huge difference. Enthralling Hold has been quite underperforming in this deck, but I think it's still a very good card to have like 1 or 2 copies of, just to ensure you steal their late game bomb. If the opponent plays like a 6-drop and they hit you with it, you might want to steal it to prevent it from attacking back. It's still a good card, I think, but plays better in a more controlling game plan, controlling deck, where you're obviously not tapped out. Do I want to cast a Daybreak Charger here? Daybreak Charger has 3 power, hits a little bit harder than King Master, and we can get in that extra crucial 2 damage we need in this aggro deck, so I don't mind just attacking for 3 here. Get out while we can, and if he does miss a land drop or stumble, then we can really punish him with the extra power from the Daybreak Charger. But it seems like he might have a removal spell lined up, we'll see. Heartfire Immolator, that's a good one. Guess we're not attacking the Selfless Savior. Fine offering to trade here, since we have the King Master to follow up. Don't think I need to protect it. Do I do it though? I mean, a 3/1's a pretty nice body. Do I need to protect anything, to be honest? Guess we might have a Rousing Reed card to protect. I don't know. Let's let it happen. We'll just play out the King Master. The Selfless Savior might be important to protect something later. The more greedier play would just to sacrifice the Selfless Savior, so we have a 3/1 on the battlefield, but I guess I'm happy that I didn't do that, since now the Deathloom Thal would have halted both the King Master here. Guess I don't mind a Rousing Reed. I don't really want to Rousing Reed my Celestial Enforcer because I need to tap stuff. So it makes sense to maybe Rousing Reed the King Master here just to draw cards. I do want my 5th land. Daybreak Charger is quite nice. Do I really want Swift Response? I think I need my 4th land either way, so we'll ditch the Celestial Enforcer. We already have a Swift Response as removal, so we'll just start clocking him in the air. Use a Swift Response to deal with the opponent's aggressive threats. The Daybreak Charger can add in the extra damage that we need to protect this Flying King Master and get in there. I mean, I could ditch the Enthralling Hold, maybe. Yeah, maybe that was the correct choice, since he's mostly going to be tapped, I think. Yeah, maybe it was fine. Getting rid of the Enthralling Hold was correct, so then I would have an extra tapper. Here, I don't mind if he attacks here. We're definitely beating him in the race. I mean, I can see the argument that the Enthralling Hold could have been the better keep. I don't know. I mean, if keeping a land would have been better with the Enthralling Hold, so that's why I kept the land. But we could have also just ditched the land maybe and got really greedy and just kept the Celestial Enforcer. So we don't really have a good Swift Response since he can just sack this and make a giant Hobble Fiend. So I think what we do now is that we Daybreak Charger onto the King Master and get in a nice attack. And then we can offer to trade with the Daybreak Charger perhaps, or attack back, we'll see. We do want to like maybe give another creature flying with the King Master, and the Daybreak Charger is a pretty good target, so we'll just see here. If he attacks me back, what happens? Do I really want to Enthralling Hold next turn? He might keep up mana to sacrifice something, and I don't really want to steal Hobble Fiend, so the attack might just prompt me to use Swift Response on the Hobble Fiend if he decides to attack with both creatures, since I do have an Enthralling Hold as backup. Opponent just passes, okay. I think I'll deploy the Makeshift Battalion, but we'll attack for 3 in the air and keep up the Selfless Savior here. I guess he could have Grasp of Darkness, which can answer the Indestructible, but I guess he'll just take it, and we'll tap efficiently just to keep up both mana open. Yep, we're curving out quite nicely. We're ahead in the race. The opponent's just spending his whole turn just to get out Goblin Wizardries. Okay. I don't think the opponent can kill us from here on out. So should I block? Like, he's probably forced into a desperate racing situation where he's forced to attack with everyone. And if that's the case, I do... Does giving it indestructible work? I guess we can only find out. Guess it's a second removal spell. Alright. Sure, I knew he was sandbagging it the whole time. So now what do we do? Do we trade? Do we just take it? Guess I don't mind swift responsing here. I am taking 6. Do I care about taking 6? If I swift response, he's just going to sacrifice one of them. But it is mana efficient. Don't mind taking 6. These are just going to be 1/1s at the end of the day. I could just go for an all-out attack next turn, forcing him to trade. Yeah, let's just go for it. And then if he decides to swing back, we also have a Sky Scanner. So I do want to kind of force a trade here if I can, just to clear these blockers out of the way. The opponent doesn't seem to be valuing his creatures too much. I don't know why the auto tapper is like that. It's always reasonable to keep up both your manas to in case something could happen. So yeah, Acolyte seems good. So my question is, do I want to swift response one of these creatures? It can be fine swift responsing one of them if he tries to go for a pump and an all-out attack. So I don't mind that. Definitely not going to block any of these since I do need a flyer to kind of get across. Okay. Guess I'll be taking some hits, but I guess I'll swift response now. Yeah, why not prevent some damage? Otherwise he'll just outrace me here. You could have like a Village Rites here, but taking 3 is fine. He's probably going to use the Heartfire Immolator next turn to sack and get rid of my Sky Scanner. I can also just use Roaming Ghostlight, in fact. It's not bad when we can bounce the token, get in there for 1. The Heartfire Immolator will take out my Roaming Ghostlight next turn, but that's fine. I'll still have a 2/2 flyer in play that can still put him in a 3-turn clock. Alright, he's going to play out the Heartfire Immolator, and then he's going to stack it to destroy the Roaming Ghostlight, I guess. Yep, makes sense. Then we can play out the Azorius Acolytes, put a 2/2 flyer into play, and also generate some life. Yeah, I don't think I want to play Watcher here. We'll just be mana efficient. I mean, Sky Scanner. Since the Sky Scanner is already going to be a 2/2, so I don't mind just getting there for 2. I might even trade this Acolyte, to be honest, just to gain some life. Can I die here? No, I'm not going to die. Let's just take it. Alright, guess I don't mind just attacking back. So let's just do that. And I can just Enthralling Hold now, like, it's not a bad idea. Guess he has a Sure Strike, Alchemist Skiff, okay. So Death Touch isn't bad. Yeah, we'll just use an Enthralling Hold now. It's really mana efficient, and I highly doubt he's going to play any other big bombs that we want to get rid of, so. Alright, yeah. Is this 6 and 1? I think it is. And I guess this is the final boss. And it goes to show you that you don't need crazy bombs like Sublime Epiphany to make a good deck. I did miss out on the Face Fetter Pack 1 Pick 1, unfortunately. and that would have been a nice card in the deck. Maybe it could have replaced, I don't know, a rousing, maybe like a rambunctious mutt or something. But overall, yeah, this is a really nice deck. I think this is the curve. We don't really have any cheap interactions or anything. It's just a nice aggressive white-blue Flyers deck at 17 lands. Yeah, I do need to look over this video portion to see what I drafted and to analyze my my strategy. I know I missed out. I took a Teferi's Tutelage over again the Face Fetter. I forgot. Yeah, the Face Fetter, which would have been great, but I mean, I think Tutelage is the right pick in a pack one pick one scenario, just because it's so powerful. As you saw in our games we were down on one card. I mean, and the opponent didn't have any ways to mill us out, and it was really scary. If he drew a single card draw spell, we would have lost that. But yeah, let's keep this train on the road. Overall, Enthralling Hold hasn't been quite impressive in this deck. It's too expensive at times, and again, we are the aggressor, and so the opponent is mostly going to stay untapped. Therefore, the Enthralling Hold doesn't really have any fine targets. It has decent synergy with the Celestial Enforcer, though. Like, if you have 7 mana up, you can tap an opponent's creature and just steal it with the Enthralling Hold. So I guess it does have some neat synergy with the Celestial Enforcer. But overall, this has been quite an underperformer. I still think it's a very good card, and I think it might have been still the correct pick in the draft that we went through. But I'll definitely go over the video. And in the meantime, let's go on to the final boss, and let's get our 7 wins. Alright, final boss. Let's do this. What rank is he? Rank number 3. Okay, that should be really challenging. I don't mind this hand. We are on the draw. That sucks. I would love it on the play. We do have a Selfless Savior on 1, swift response to maybe knock out an opponent's threat. And a Sky Scanner that can hopefully draw us into something fine. I think we'll keep number 3 Mythic. Okay. This is going to be a challenge, but it's going to be pretty fun. Let's lead with a Selfless Savior. Red-blue spell is the best archetype in the set. I think we'll attack in for 1 here. So you go. So that's might be an indication that he doesn't have a shock in his hand, because I think Selfless Savior would be something I would shock early on, due to the fact that it just gives something indestructible in the future. So gotta watch out for turn 4. The Goblin Assault Team, I forgot what it's called, would be in the deck. Let's get in there for 1. We'll play out the Sky Scanner later. There's no need to attack or play first. Let's see him use a removal spell. Don't think there's any blue or red flash creatures I need to be aware of. Alright. Play out the Sky Scanner. Could have a Lofty Denial. I know blue-red spells is not the place to play the Lofty Denial, but it does happen. Some people might even main deck it, even though it's not very good in a blue-red spells deck. Lofty Denial would be pretty good in our deck. I did see a couple of them passed up during the draft, but there were still other better cards. Okay, Thrill of Possibilities, so opponent's definitely looting, trying to find some card advantage here. Stormwind Entity, that's a scary one. Okay. So I guess that's going to put a halt to our progress for a while. And we need to maybe Swift Response to get out of the way. So that's the problem with Swift Response. It only deals with tapped creatures. So if we're the aggressor and the opponent is the one staying back, it's going to be pretty bad. So I would have loved to face Feather over the Swift Response, I think, in this deck. But hopefully we can find something that can attack past this. 2 on top, so that's not a good sign. Okay, Enthralling Hold seems good, but we'll just leave the Sky Scanner. We'll keep the Plains in hand. We could top deck a 1-drop that we want to cast, but no luck, so we'll stay back. Keep the Rambunctious Mutt for any Teferi's Tuilages if he's going for the mill plan. If he attacks me next turn, I think I'll be happy just firing off the Enthralling Hold and get that out of the way. Huh. I mean, alternatively, I could just play out the Rambunctious Mutt and start attacking as a 3-4 on the ground. However, this can gain prowess and becomes a 4 toughness, 4 powered creature, so that can be a huge issue. Okay, I guess that's a good target to get rid of with the Rambunctious Mutt now. So we'll just do that next turn. These are good mills. Damn, those are good cards. Okay. Staying back. Let's just do it now. Hopefully there's no Lofty Denial. Lofty Denial would hurt here, but I think we have to go for it. No Lofty Denial, please. I'm begging you. Okay, now we can target the Teferi's Tuilage. And then we can stay back here. Alright, he's just doing this on a stack, so he gets an extra mill. That's fine. We can still win through aggression with this Siege Striker, perhaps. Okay, those are fine mills. I don't really care about losing those cards. But losing a Daybreak Charger and Anointed Chorister kind of sucks, since the Anointed Chorister can become an actual threat. So we put a halt to his mill game plan. So now he needs to maybe win the air with like Fliers or like a Giant Spellgorger Weird. Or just hopefully hope that we mill ourselves. I mean, we can just play him through the late game. I don't think he can recur to Teferi's Tuilage. There's no cards like that in this set. So we're in decent shape. The question is, do I want to attack the Rambunctious Mutt next turn? He's always going to hold up instants and sorceries at instant speed, so I don't think we do. If he does tap out, I'm fine just attacking with it. Could have a cancel in his hand now. But I still think we try to plop this Siege Striker down. Alright, a Rousing Reed, that's actually not bad. So he might just try to win the game in the air now, and we can steal his Stormwind Entity if he decides to attack. I think I'm fine attacking next turn now, since the prowess is gone. So we'll just, hopefully he attacks. Ooh, this is good. Alright, yep, let's take the hits. Please hit me back. Yes, 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 I like it. I could also Swift Response here, but the Stormwind Entity is just such an amazing target for this Enthralling Hold, and this is very expensive, so let's steal it. And now the Rambunctious Mutt can get in for 3. Alright. Now we also have an extra threatening flying threat. He could also Roaming Ghostlight to bounce it back and put it in his hand, which would also suck, but if he doesn't, then we're in great shape. We can also Rousing Reed the Siege Striker in the future to make it into a flying threat as well. Or I can Rousing Reed a Rambunctious Mutt and turn it into a flying threat. But yep, Rambunctious Mutt to the rescue. Definitely a better 5-drop than the Valorous Steed in this set. Bit of a sleeper too, since it can also answer opposing Rousing Reeds, but just that turn 5 getting rid of the Tuilage was really nice for us. Now, all of a sudden the opponent is the one that's on the back foot. I guess I don't need to Rousing Reed the Siege Striker. Like, Rousing Reed and a Rambunctious Mutt could actually be better, since the Siege Striker can grow itself anyways whenever it's attacking. And I highly doubt he's going to play multiple ground creatures in this type of deck. So I could just Rousing Reed the Rambunctious Mutt instead, and then just use the Siege Striker to attack in the ground by tapping all of the other creatures. opponent is thinking really hard. So the question is, does he have Lofty Denial? I highly doubt it, since he didn't cast it earlier. So he could have a cancel up, I think. So in that case, which one do we want to resolve? I guess we'd rather have the Rousing Reed get into the Rambunctious Mutt, since it also enables Prowess. Okay, that's a fine card. Okay, so now we do have a nice good target to, nice good turn to fly over our Rambunctious Mutt, and even better, a Daybreak Charger to pump it. Let's go for it. Maybe not. Maybe we can just, maybe we just play out the Siege Striker. Let's get in there. Could try to instant speed and draw cards to tap our creatures down on our turn. And now I can play out the Siege Striker as another additional threat that can help close out the game. I can also chump block the Kraken, but at 16 life total, I'm fine taking 4. Next turn, I guess I can Daybreak Charger onto the Siege Striker, or I can just play the Roaming Ghostlight and bounce the 4/6, I think, or just bounce the Flyer. But bouncing the Flyer, if I bounce the Flyer and he manages to survive, he gets an extra card draw, so might not be necessary. So I might bounce a Tolarian Kraken just to make him spend all of his mana to recast it. Okay, do I use the Selfless Savior here? Let's say I save this, what happens? You could have a Rain of Revelations, but... I mean, triple blue isn't damage-based, so I think it's fine saving this Siege Striker here. And then I guess maybe we can play the Roaming Ghostlight, bounce the Tolarian Kraken, and hit him for lethal next turn. I don't know what he can do with quadruple blue. I guess a Capture Sphere makes sense. I guess it's lethal now, since now we can play the... Is it lethal? Let's think. Yeah, let's bounce a Roaming Ghostlight anyways. Next turn we can get in for lethal. Yeah, let's just bounce it. And then we can get in with the Siege Striker, Stormwind Entity. Guess we'll get in with our Fliers because he's forced to trump the Siege Striker anyways. We can tap the Roaming Ghostlight, prompting him to block the Siege Striker. And then we can get in for a nice 5. Alright, beat it number 3 Mythic. Yeah, I guess even this deck can beat a high-ranking Mythic player, unlike us. And we still managed to get there. So opponents seem to have a nice blue-red control deck, with trying to win with the Teferi's Tutelage, multiple copies of Frantic Inventory, and ways to draw cards. But there we have it. Nice 7-win draft. And we have a long way to go to rank up, so I highly doubt we're going to get to top 3 Mythic. But that was a really fun game. Really fun draft overall. And I'm definitely going to re-watch this video and analyze my other pick options to improve my my draft skills. But let's do an overview of the deck, maybe. Do I need an overview? I already overviewed it on 6. Nice 2/1 drop, Selfless Savior, definitely an excellent card in the blue-white Flyers deck, protecting our Flyers, and crazy threats like the Siege Striker is quite nice. Also a nice 1-drop that could get pumped by the Daybreak Charger and get in a nice chunk of damage. Didn't see much from the Anointed Chorister this game, but I think it would still been really good on turn 1, curving out into the Daybreak Charger. Concordian Pegasus, not amazing, but it has great flying synergy in the blue-white Flyers deck, especially with cards like Watcher Spheres. and Celestial Enforcer, and I like it over the Alpine Watchdog since it's also a better blocker. If we're looking to race in the air, we could use a nice high toughness blocker, and putting on a counter onto the Concording Pegasus, like what you saw in that one game where I made into a 3/5 flyer against a Black Red Sacrifice deck, was was definitely huge game changer since the high toughness is pretty hard to attack past. So I do like. I don't really like Concording Pegasus, but in a deck where you have Bazri's Acolytes and you're looking to maximize on the flying theme, the Concording Pegasus can definitely do a lot of work. Daybreak Shade Charger, really good in the Blue-White Flyers deck. Um, really good overperform in this set. I don't think it's one of the best commons, top 3 commons. I think I'll rank it number 4, best white common. The best white commons are like Bazri's Acolytes, potentially this Feeder Resistance, and then there's an argument, maybe it's the Gale Swooper, maybe Swift Response, maybe it is the Daybreak Charger, but definitely very solid common. We didn't use a Swift Response. I guess we used a Swift Response once, and that was fine. King Glide Masters, better in the late game. Not a very good creature in the early game from my experience, but it can maybe trade off and get a little bit of damage in, but it's better in the late game since it becomes an actual threat that the opponent has to answer, or else it can just give all your creatures flying and steal the deal. As we saw in some games, the opponent would prioritize killing the King Glide Master more highly than our creatures with higher stat lines that could potentially get across. Watchers of Spheres didn't see much from him, but he's definitely a very good 2-drop. There was one game where Celestial Enforcer saved us. I think it was the first game against the red-green Power 4 Matters deck. That was quite scary, and the ability to lock down all of his large creatures and get in with the Flyers definitely help us win that one. Rousing Reed, definitely fantastic. Probably the MVP of this entire draft, along with, I guess, Bazri's Acolyte. So these two definitely the more important components, especially if it can turn like a ground creature that's easily blanked into a real threat that the opponent has eventually answered. Also helps you draw and loot and replaces itself. So a very powerful card. Big fan of the Rousing Reed. Sky Scanner, not amazing, but pretty good in our deck since we're valuing flying. It's a good creature to put counters on with the Bazri's Acolyte. And especially 3 of them, we definitely want to have lots of small creatures in the early game. Rambunctious Mud also saved us in that last game against the Teferi's Tutelage. So don't sleep on this. Like, it can destroy Faith's Fetter, it can destroy an Enthralling Hold, it can destroy an opposing Rousing Reed, it can destroy a Malefic Scythe. It has so many targets in this set that I'd rather run like at least 1 or 2 copies of these over the Valorous Steed. And Enthralling Hold, unfortunately, was good in the last game, stealing the Stormwing Entity, since the opponent got greedy and attacked, but it's definitely found games where it was just stuck in my hand doing nothing until the last moments, and definitely probably a little underperforming, so I could maybe get away with just 1 copy of Enthralling Hold in the future and pick something else over it, but Roaming Ghostlight also pretty good. So there we have it, our nice Blue-White Flyers deck, and again, we did play Wishcoin Crab because the Bazri's Acolytes were better 4-drops, not too spells heavy for the red Read the Tides. Teferi's Tutelage, again, if you are drafting, you want to really maximize on the theme and the type of deck you're trying to do. And in our case, we're trying to be very aggressive, so a card like Teferi's Tutelage doesn't really work well. We do have a bit of card drawing, of course, but it's only going to do well in a deck that has a lot more, like an insane amount of card drawing with frantic inventories, ops, multiple Rousing Reeds, and Crash Screws and whatnot. It's not going to be the best in every deck. Library Larcenist also, I think it was fine with Valor. Our 3s look very good. It would have been fine maybe to have a copy. Maybe we could have went 16 lands or ditched the Enthralling Hold and play the Library Larcenist since it works well the Rousing Reed. But overall, the stat line is quite poor, and if you don't have a Rousing Reed on or a way to grow it or enhance it, then it's not a good card, I say. And also enhancing it could also leave you into a potential room for getting 2 for 1, and you kind of want to avoid that. Although it would have been finer deck since Bazri's Acolyte could have at least given it counters, and then the Daybreak Charger can pump it to get in some nice attacks. So if I would remake this deck, I would maybe cut an Enthralling Hold and put in the Library Larcenist on turn 3. In a vacuum, I mean, it sounds insane because in a vacuum, Enthralling Hold is definitely a better card than Library Larcenist, but due to the fact that our deck is looking to be very aggressive and less controlling, most of the times the opponent's creatures won't be tapped, and you'd rather have just a nice aggressive creature like the Library Larcenist, which becomes a threat that the opponent might have to answer eventually, much more important than having um, removal, expensive removal. So there you have it. Nice 7-in-1 deck. Let's crack some packs and pretend this is a pack 1 pick 1 M21 draft. So let's go. Pack 1 pick 1, Coreset 2021. I think it's an easy Soul Seer. Yeah, it's Soul Seer. This is the best removal spell in the set. This is why I also consider red probably the best color in the set, along with white, because they have cards like Shock, Scorching Dragonfire, and then a Soul Seer, a 3-mana instant speed spell that deals with pretty much anything, including the Seasoned Hollow Blades and Brash Taunters at 5. So, pretty powerful card. Obviously, the first pick, Frantic Inventories, the best common. Take 3 or 4 copies of these, and you can just steal games, especially with Fairy's Toolage. Alright, easy Roman Ghostlight or Lord Scale Quado. It would be an interesting debate between these two. In this draft video, I did, yeah, I don't know if I spoke about the Ghostly Pilfer, maybe somewhere else, but this card is just very okay. At the end of the day, it's just a way to loot in the late game since you're also forced to discard a card. Obviously, if you can get this down on turn 2 and start activating it and untapping and drawing cards, that can be fine. But you don't really want to pay 2 colorless in the early game just to draw cards. You really want to develop the board in a very aggressive blue deck. I can see this being fine in Blue Light Flyers, like if you have a way to give it a Rousing Read or a Keen Glide Master to give it flying. This can be pretty decent, but overall it takes a little bit of work to get going, and the payoff is okay, but still takes a lot of work, and it doesn't automatically win you the game once you can make it unblockable. But it's fine if in the right situation. I think maybe pack 1 pick 1. I would still take Lord Scale Quado over Roman Ghostlight. Haven't drafted a blue-green deck yet, but it's definitely really possible. It doesn't come together a whole often, but I think it's enough stronger than Roman Ghostlight. I'm willing to get out of my ways and go 2 colors over it, since Roman Ghostlight is actually quite expensive as well. While the Lord Scale Quado, if it doesn't get answered, it can just run away with a game. So yeah, probably Lord Scale Quado. Also Burrowfist Ogre in the same Oak in the same pack. Not great outside of blue-green, to be honest, since it's a bad blocker. But you're going to be a pretty good attacker if you're in the right blue-green deck, but overall, not going to be... I don't like playing this in any green deck except blue-green. Yeah, this pack is unexciting. Probably just take the Ghostly Pilfer anyways. It's a fine 2-drop. Again, haven't been too impressed by the Chrome Replicator. It's too expensive for what it in this set. It's a very aggressive set, so aggressive format. Sorry. So the Chrome Replicator it costs a lot, and you'd need to be very lucky to have 2 permanents survive on the battlefield in order to get the replication. And even if you do, it's just another 4/4, which 5 mana 8/8 is pretty good, but there's a lot of flyers going on this set, so they can usually fly across the finish line, and they can also get removed. So you pretty much essentially maybe spend 5 mana, and getting your 4/4 removed wasn't a good payoff. So just a Ghostly Pilfer, and again, Library Larson is okay. I don't think it's as amazing as people think it is. So. Alright, wouldn't mind a Waker Waves and try to draft a nice blue-black Reanimator deck. There's also Capture Sphere, but it's not the most amazing removal since if the opponent moves into combat phase and you didn't cast this pre-combat, they can still get in an attack, and you don't. And it can be and there's a lot of protection spells in this set. I guess there's a Feeder Resistance that can make the Capture Sphere fall off. It's a fine removal spell. I would have loved to play a copy in my Blue-White Flyers deck, but as you can see, I managed to do well even without it. But it's pretty solid if you need to get rid of a big blocker that's out of the way, like a Waker of Waves. But again, this doesn't really... If the creature has a nice passive ability that they have, like Errata, for example, where it can look at the top card and play as many lands that you can off the top, it's better to just take a destroy effect over a an enchantment effect that taps down a creature, since again they keep their passive ability, but it's still a fine card. I don't hate it. It's still good, but I will still take the Waker Raves and maybe hedge my bets against a blue-black reanimation deck. And this is really good. You can cycle this on turn 2, and then turn 5, well, let's rise again, and then you can nerf your opponent's power by 1. But it's not hexproof, unlike the Spine Megalodon, so it can still get killed. So don't sleep on this pretty powerful card. It can only, I guess it only dies to like finishing blow, but even with like a passive enchantment based removal like Capture Sphere and Face Fetter, the passive ability is still really relevant. So pretty fun card. Alright, Gormon versus Feeder Resistance. I think Gormon has a lot higher potential than Feeder Resistance. Feeder Resistance is I hate to say it, I don't want to say it, but it's a busted white common, I think. I mean, it's not busted, but in this set, it is definitely incredibly over. It performs incredibly well because white has a lot of efficient threats. This is very cheap, and the fact that you not only put a +1/+1 counter on a creature, but gain protection is very relevant. And the fact is that white have so many amazing threats that the fact that this set offers them a nice counter spell, I guess, for 2 mana that also enhances their creature, is it's just not really healthy, I think, for this format. It makes white incredibly overpowered. They didn't need Feeder Resistance. White had enough amazing aggressive creatures from the draft that this draft that you've currently watched, that they didn't need anything like Feeder Resistance, to be honest. Like, even we managed to get there without a Feeder Resistance, and I think I think the deck would have been even more amazing with the Feeder Resistance to protect our Flyers. So yeah, this card is really good. I think I would still take Feed over maybe Chandra's Magmuts, but Gormon has a lot of potential, especially if you can reanimate with the Rise Agains, and the fact that it can enter the battlefield and force an opponent to sack a creature is nice. This is not a set with too many tokens, I think, unless you're in black, for example, with the Deathloom Thallid. It's pretty nice to just make them sacrifice a creature and over again if you can reanimate this. I still like the Gormon over Feeder Resistance, and it's a much more fun card. So I would probably take a Gormon, and it's a pretty powerful win condition too if it goes unanswered, since it's like a 4-turn clock. So yep, next pack, final pack. Easy Elder Gargoth, powerful bomb. This is the reason why you want to be playing green in the set. Yeah, an easy Elder Gargoth. If it wasn't, then it's an easy roaming Ghostlight. Vigilance, Reach, Trample. Whenever attacks or blocks, you can generate a 3/3, gain 3 life, or draw a card. Yeah, it's pretty busted. But it can still die to like Capture Sphere, unfortunately. It can still die to Face Fetters. Opponent could also just use Secure the Scene to exile it. So it's not unbeatable, but it's definitely a very powerful card that you're happy to start with. And it can definitely run away with a game if it manages to get a few attacks in. So yeah, easy Elder Gargoth. Oh, and there you have it. This is our nice second, I think third 7-win draft video for our channel. And maybe we will even do more Coreset 2021 later. We'll see. And in the meantime, have a wonderful day. Take your time evaluating this draft if you want to improve. And stay safe, guys. Take care.